Hold on, give me a second. We're gonna edit this bit out. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm recording!
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
So, welcome back to the Brown Boy Podcast, but this time we're gonna keep it a little less sciencey, but just a little more chill. You know, it's just a conversation because both of us are tired and it can't be asked just a little bit. So, yeah.
Bro, this online school is killing me day by day.
You know, I still wonder how I was motivated, in the first lockdown. For those of you who don't know, I was a bit of a mad one.
Yeah.
I had a Monday motivation thing every single.
That was good. You should have
week.
kept that up. I actually liked it.
I can't be asked. There's literally no point. It's miserable. Like right now, I would keep it up, but I feel miserable. Everyone feels miserable.
True.
Back in the first lockdown, it would have been fine. To continue it, I was doing home workouts. I have a bunch of towels in my backyard that I just lifted. Somehow I still got weaker.
You had that like massive brick thing.
Yeah, tile.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, Smith.
Shush.
Yeah, and I was pressing like 60 kg of my upper pecs. I was never able to do that before, but I went back to the gym and tried on real weights and I couldn't do shit. I don't know how it worked. I couldn't do anything.
How quick is like muscle decay? It's not decay, but like.
Oh no, I just lost.
Oh.
And then I lost 10 kilos of weight.
10 kilos?
I checked in December. I lost 10 kg since March.
Since last March?
Yeah. Don't know how. But I do know how. I just haven't been eating enough.
I've gained, I think. But then I've gotten a bit too fat nowadays. I'm eating too much and just sitting doing nothing. So.
Yeah. Right now, the only good thing is I don't have much of a belly. I still lost my abs. You know, I was doing ab workouts as well. I was basically because between December, so a year ago, around this time, I was bulking. And, you know, when I'm bulking, I can't maintain abs. Like, there's literally no point. So I just don't do ab workouts and they disappeared.
Yeah.
But I got it back during lockdown because I was doing ab workouts. I could be asked. I was motivated enough to do ab workouts.
Don't know how.
And then I just stopped and they got lost again. As long as I have a strong core, I'm not bothered. I'll know if I have a weak core and I'll just get it back. But abs are really overrated.
You know what it is? Mr. Shah. Remember when he on Sundays we had cricket training.
Yeah.
And then he'd make us do is just core workouts. Like we'd do planking and shit. That's the only reason.
It was the guy. What's his name? The coach.
Glenn.
That's a guy. No. It was young. Like it was one of our first coaches.
He was some Surrey.
He was
kid.
the one.
Yeah.
He was the one who made us do.
He just hella fitness. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mind it because I was fit compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
You lot were just fat. I can't
allow it. It was good though. It's the only reason I'm not obese right now because of the Sunday training.
I rated it. That's what I mean. I rated it. Plus, I wasn't like too bad, but. The thing is, I make gym progress faster. I just push myself for no reason. But the thing is, there is no gym.
Exactly.
I hate it.
There's just no gym, and like I need the gym because the reason the gym is good is because it's a mental space outside of the home to do work to exercise. And when people tell me when my mom I got shouted at yesterday for just being lazy, and then I was like, "What do you want me to do?"
Right.
Huh?
Sounds about right.
And so I was like, no, because the gym is it's like a completely different place. There's a different mindset. When you go to the gym, you're ready to do shit. And then when you're sitting at home, I'm sitting in this room and I cannot be bothered to get up and do exercise. I tried though, actually. Like I tried doing the core workouts, the ab workouts. I tried doing intermittent fasting, which actually it's not too bad, but I can't keep it up. I don't know what it is about being at home. It just can't.
Yeah, it's very evident. We don't look our greatest today, on this video. I've got eye bags and my hair is slightly greasy, and so far that's all I'm gonna show for you lot. I'm not gonna whip out my stomach and show you how much flap I've gained.
Please, like you have a stomach.
It's coming out a little bit. I'm trying to keep it in. And just to top it all off, my granddad sent hella Indian sweets from India, and I can't stop myself from eating them. And I just
Lucky.
know, no, they taste beautiful.
They're
Of course, it's Indian
amazing.
food, but the stomach I'm gonna gain is gonna be next level.
You know what's interesting is like when we go to school, and like usually I don't get hungry. Usually I can wake up and I can skip breakfast, and I can just like not eat anything until lunch. And like lunch I can still have at like 2-3 o'clock, which is good. But then when we go to school, as soon as it hits 10 o'clock or like 10:40 or whenever break is, I get really hungry. And like I think it's because like for the last 4 years of school I would just get like pizza breads and garlic breads and like all the like unhealthy shit at 10:40 specifically, just at break time. But then like it's I don't know what it is. It's really strange. And then at lunch I'm not hungry at school.
You know what my ideal day is usually at school?
What?
I have a massive like 600 calorie breakfast. I just eat whatever is there, and then 600 calories not that much. What I aim to have when I go to uni, I'm gonna try get in like 1,500 calories in the morning.
What?
And yeah, I'm just gonna have a massive 1,000 calorie
How?
shake, and I'm gonna have oats in the morning with some fruits and stuff, make it nice, and then I'm gonna go down to communal breakfast, which Oxford's gonna have, because you know how they're all down together
Yeah.
in a hall and stuff. I'm gonna have that as well on top of it, so it'll be just 1,500 in the morning before it even hits like 8 o'clock, and then for the rest of the day, I'm just gonna be munching on whatever food they give me and whatever food I can make.
What, as a doctor or as a student?
Both.
Because I swear doctors have like hella long shifts.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like doctors, the best way for them to get all the food is in the morning. To maintain their muscle mass, they have to get. That's why a lot of doctors use like liquid calories. Or if they don't, I don't know what they're doing, because it's like the best way to get calories in, without wasting time.
Yeah.
I still use liquid calories after my gym workouts to get my protein shake in. But
Yeah, protein shakes are good.
I haven't been doing that since 2 days before my interview, which was the last time I went to the gym.
2 days before what?
My Oxford interview.
Oh, well, I mean,
That was December the 12th, I remember.
I haven't been since this time last year. Because that's when Corona started happening, and my dad was like, no, he just locked me inside. Depressing.
I remember we went gym together once in the summer of year 11 or something.
Yeah. Bro, I was weak. I tried that thing. You know that thing where the...
I have a video of
the
it.
curling. I couldn't hack it. I could do it. I could do it. Okay, so I'm not that weak. Back then I was really weak because I lost a lot of weight.
It's just annoying because, like, sure, I did workouts in the first lockdown. I was in the back and stuff. I can't do that now. It's cold as shit outside. I can't do it. It's so cold.
Yeah. I mean, you can do the indoor ones.
What indoor ones? I don't do indoor. I do
really.
ab workouts, but I'm not doing
P
ab
with
workouts.
Joe, whatever his name is, fucking
Yeah.
don't like him. Pisses me off. He's happy every day, and I just see him on my trending with his like big smiley face. Like, fuck off. Just don't. P with Joe. Have you not seen him?
No.
The guy who went viral because like in the beginning of quarantine, he did live workouts every morning.
Oh.
Every morning at 8 o'clock, he did a workout thing, and then like me and my brother were forced to do it for a little bit. He's so happy, it pisses me off. Like that. So
I meant to talk about something.
okay. Right. Here's an idea. You know how going back to the butterfly effect. Say 200,000 years ago, whenever like monkeys found fire or humans found fire, right?
Yeah, we found fire.
Yeah. Say it didn't work, right? Say we didn't find fire at that specific moment in time. And then like it would appear as if it would have like some massive knock-on effects. It's like if we didn't find fire, then we wouldn't be able to cook meat. If we weren't able to cook meat, then like our brains wouldn't be able to grow so much, and like we wouldn't be as intelligent. We wouldn't do this or that. Same thing, something like inventing the wheel, or discoveries in geometry or maths or science, or finding cures to diseases, or like all of these sort of like large events, or even like world wars or battles and stuff, right? All of these sort of large events in human history, that if they didn't happen, it would be like, oh, it would like the world would be changed. You know how people say, if I could go back in time, I'd go and kill Hitler, like before he started the World War, because if you kill Hitler, then the World War doesn't happen, right? So, what if some events are like fixed in time? So like it's almost like it's sort of like fate that certain events will happen in our timeline, whether it's in the past or the future. So the discovery of fire was a fixed event. Like we would have to find fire eventually, and that we couldn't get around that. Like time wouldn't move forward if we didn't find fire at that specific point in time. Or like if you can go back and kill Hitler, but then there would just be some other cause of the World War at that specific point in time, and like or like geopolitical unrest or whatever, and then like the World War would have happened anyway if it weren't for Hitler. So what do you think of the idea that just there are some moments in time that are just fixed and they have to happen?
That makes sense, but how I would picture it, for example, finding fire and the world wars happening and stuff, I think of it as it's gonna happen anyway, no matter if one event is stopped. So, for example, fire, the discovery of fire was, I don't think it's completely due to science. Influence of humans slowly evolving into actually making use of tools and rocks and creating fire and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I'd say that if you still go and stop that one Neanderthal who was making fire, some other person's going to do it anyways, and fire's still going to be made. Or in the case of the World War, as you said, there may be a plethora of causes that can cause it. It may not just be Hitler. I don't know much about the World Wars personally, because India never taught us about the World Wars.
Okay.
And
sure.
You bastards all just learn it in primary school. Meanwhile, I was learning about, what was I learning about? The Mughal Empire. That's about it,
yeah.
really.
We learned it in year 8. I remember. I had
Really?
Mr. Robertson.
It's such a good empire. I don't know why everyone else.
Oh, the
isn't
Mughal
like
Empire.
the
Oh, we never
the
learned
Mughal
about
Empire.
that. We learned about the World Wars in year 8.
Oh, I learned about the Mughal Empire in year 8 in Rutledge. They were
Really?
comparing the Tudor Empire and the Mughal Empire for some reason. I don't know why.
Really?
I was good at history, you know. I got the highest in the year.
Of course
That's
you
the
did.
first time I was doing modern history, and I was so gassed as well because this other guy was just a nerd who was trying to beat me. Technically, I was also a nerd, but still, we keep that aside. And I did sick, and I just didn't pick it for GCSE because I hated it. But anyways, yeah, when it comes to the World War, that's how I picture it. Some events are bound to happen one way or another because it's just by chance that due to the previous causations, it just happened to be this what caused it. But something else can also cause it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. So, what if now there are, you know how life and death, or like especially death after life, is like it's an eventuality, like it's coming. So what if death was like a fixed thing? So some people are just, it's their fate to die at a certain time or in a certain sort of like area of time. So in the next sort of like 5 days. So if God came down and was like, you will die in the next 4 days or 5 days, you can't escape that. Like that's just gonna happen. So what do you think of that now?
Well, there will definitely be a timeline where you're going to be dying at that moment in time. So it will happen somewhere in time, somewhere in some universe, at some timeline. But the thing is, there have been apparently cases in medicine where a patient was able to predict that they were about to die, and they did die that day. Of course, it could be completely due to chance and stuff, but it would be more impressive if it was something more spiritual.
How? What do you mean spiritual?
I don't know. We can't explain a lot of spiritual stuff, but if the patient had like a god, if they saw something supernatural, something metaphysical, some metaphysical experience could have made them think, "Oh, this is my day. I'm going to die today." By the way, doctor.
Yeah, but then does everyone have that?
No. It's just few cases where it was recorded by doctors before this. If I'm my future doctor self, if I, as a junior doctor, if one of my patients came up to me, or when I was like checking on them when I'm on the ward rounds, and the patient says, "I'm going to die today," I feel like it. Then my initial instinct will not be, "You're crazy. I'm gonna get you a psych consult." That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm just probably gonna like make that moment a bit special, just in case there's something spiritual going on. I would be like, "Okay, how can I make this experience better for you? Do you want me to like get you cake or something? Like, what do I do?" and stuff like that.
Yeah, but isn't that like if you wake up one day in a hospital and you really feel like shit, then like when you could
That's not what it is. That's different. Okay,
Oh.
that's the actual thing happening to
like
you.
if you can
It's
feel
like-
that you're close to death, you could just be like, I'm gonna die in the next day, and then the spiritual. It's not very spiritual, is it?
It's not. It's not like complaining or knowing. It's some stuff you just know. If a person has a dysfunctional kidney and a liver, we know they're not going to really survive for the next few weeks.
Yeah,
because they can't.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
So it can be
that's
those
different.
patients as well.
Yeah, there can be those patients, but that's not the kind of patients I'm talking about. It's one of those ones where
Oh.
there are incidences where they weren't even in the hospital when they said there was nothing wrong with them, but something said, "Oh, I think I know how I'm gonna die," and they
But
say
if there's nothing
it's
wrong with
from-
them, why were they in the hospital?
This is outside the hospital.
Oh, outside the
That's,
hospital.
I think I remember. I don't know if I'm making this up, but I remember either watching something or reading something where this patient wasn't a patient yet, but they were like, "Okay, I know I'm gonna die. It just occurred to me in my dream or something like that. I don't know how spiritual experiences occur in a vision. I guess I don't know.
Arguable.
GCSE-RS.
I genuinely think that's just the majority of those is just down to the brain seeing what it wants to see.
Maybe, or maybe it's something spiritual. That's what I'm saying. It will be more impressive. I'm saying.
You use
If it
this
was
every
something-
time. It would be more sick.
Yeah,
if it was
It
spiritual.
will be sick. It will be so sick. That's the thing. Like,
It
no,
would be
they
more
were
sick
like,
if I was a billionaire, but like I'm not. So
okay,
where
I
do we
know.
go from here?
So it will. Listen, I'm just saying. Like, the patient themselves. Well, they were the person. I think this woman. She had no medical knowledge as well. But she was able to predict that she was going to get a certain type of cancer, which she hasn't got yet, and she got that cancer and she died from it. I think.
But how?
That's like asking, how did flipping what's his face? The guy who got his eyes scaled up because he saw this bright light in the Christian book in the
Paul.
Bible.
Saul turned into Paul.
Saul turns into Paul. Yeah, that's like saying, how did Saul's eyes become rocks or whatever that story was?
He didn't turn into rocks. He just went blind.
Okay, yeah. So how did Saul go blind? That's what you're basically asking.
He might He might have just looked at the sun.
Oh my
like-
God. That's actually so true.
You're telling me that's not a huge possibility. Because like people back then didn't know that like the sun on a particularly bright day could just blind you forever. So you might have just looked at the sun. Like
That's true. I didn't even think of that. That is very true. It might have just been the sun.
you never know.
There was another story that one of my teachers has told me. Basically, Telugu
By the
was
way,
my-
I'm not shitting on Christianity. Okay, right.
Oh,
Carry
yeah,
on.
I mean,
Just in case.
just in case we lose that viewership. But,
Yeah.
anyways, I remember there's one particular thing in year 6. In India, Telugu was the third language that I was learning, even though it's my mother tongue. It's an English medium school, so English would technically be the first language for the students.
Yeah.
while
My
they were
dad
in
went to
school.
an English medium school. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hindi was my second language, but Telugu was my third language. And we were learning about the Mahabharata, we were learning about the Pandavas and stuff and their story. I don't know why. It was a Telugu lesson. I don't know why we're learning about it, but we were.
Okay.
And I didn't mind particularly. It's
It's an interesting
the
story,
greatest
yeah.
It's the greatest epic ever written in human history, in my opinion. Like, I know the whole thing-ish. And I watched the Star Plus TV show and it's really good.
Wait, the Ramayana.
Ramayana is different to the Mahabharata.
Oh wait, the Mahabharata is
Ramayana
the
comes
Krishna one, right?
Yeah,
The
that's
battle
where...
thing.
There's a battle in the Ramayana as well, but the Ramayana I think comes second. Because the Mahabharata is just so much more complex and like big.
So they're two separate things. They're not just part of the one big story.
Yeah, they're two separate things. The Ramayana happens first.
Oh, okay. It's almost like it's interesting because it almost mirrors like the Iliad and the Odyssey when you think about it. Because it's like
I don't know what that is.
it's like people are gonna get mad at me like for making this comparison, but when you think about it, Iliad and the Odyssey are Greek epics written by Homer, and they're like a fusion of real life world, like real characters with sort of like Greek mythology, Greek and Roman mythology and stories and stuff. And they're also, and you also have the Aeneid, and they're also like massive epics. It's just less people have read them, less people know about them, and they're not sort of like a part of religion. So, but it's interesting that there's just two sets of these kinds of stories, and they're also like really interesting books. We studied them in Latin. They're really really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
I don't know how much better it is than the Hindu one because I am obviously a very patriotic person.
Yeah, obviously.
And I like to think, I have a painting of the Gita on my wall. Let me just. You see that? Can I zoom in? No, I can't zoom in. Shit. Okay. That is Krishna and Arjuna and all that. It's the classic Gita scene right there. But pretty much, right. She was saying, I don't know where she got this from, but she was saying something that recently in archaeology and stuff, they've discovered sort of stuff from the Mahabharata just buried, or for example in the sites next to Kurukshetra where the war happened. And they almost think it's like, oh, is this evidence of a certain mythological event happening? Is this it's stuff like that they've been thinking. Apparently humans, like some of these gods or avatars of gods, used to be 10 foot tall or something apparently, and they found like massive doorways, massive doors or something. That's obviously not enough, but they also found massive chairs or something, massive chairs that can't fit normally. I don't know, but it would be amazing if suddenly an archaeologist digs up something and suddenly one major religion's right and the rest are like sort of only partly correct.
With these 10-foot tall things, I've heard this a lot on TikTok.
Really? I hate when information comes from TikTok.
It's not Hindu. It's not Hindu related specifically,
okay, cool.
But it's on TikTok. I watched this big series about inside. You know how we don't actually know what's inside the Earth. Like we've only taken measurements, right?
Yeah, because we can't get down.
So there's this theory that inside the Earth, there's these like really tall. There's this like whole other civilization, and they're really tall, like between 10 to 15 foot tall. And this isn't a theory from Asia at all. Actually, it's from South America, and there's also been separate evidence in sort of like Eastern Europe.
What's it called?
And China or something.
The name of that civilization was the Mayans. The Mayans, I think. Were they Mayans?
Not the tall people. The Mayans was like just normal people.
In South America, but I think they worship people.
The Mayans and the Aztecs. And like there's this whole thing about like there's these secret village people that guard the entrance of a cave. And if you go down that cave and you walk for like 5 days straight, you end up in this new underground civilization. And like,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, but like,
I've had a past sort of memory be unlocked.
What?
It's nothing major. It's not like something I made a discovery of. That's not.
You made like this massive gasp. Okay.
I know. I don't know why. Basically, it's because I have a really bad memory. If I remember stuff, it's great. But anyways, basically, there's a show that kids watch in India called Doraemon. It's basically a Japanese
I've heard of that.
cartoon.
Yeah,
you know Doraemon, right? I think the concept's amazing. I'm about to be an 18-year-old in like a month, and I will watch it again.
I mean, I just know the blue character, but yeah.
Yeah, Doraemon, the actual guy, comes from the 22nd century, travels back in time to help a guy who's hopeless, and has a 4-dimensional pocket where he puts loads of his gadgets in from the 22nd century.
4D pocket? Oh, that's sick. Okay.
Yeah. I know, it's so, like, I love it. It's a children's cartoon. It's
4D. Okay, no, carry on. Yeah.
Okay. And there's this film where it's related to Mayan culture, and I think they enter into a hollow earth or something, or they enter into this place where there's no sun, but
Hollow
there's
Earth.
stuff.
That's it. Yeah.
There's stuff. I don't know. Like they go into a place. Oh, they dig underground. No, I got it. He whips out this 22nd century gadget, which just is a massive drill, and it has a submarine attached to the back, so he can go in while it drills, and you actually go in with it's an amazing thing, and they go
out of his pocket.
It gets he just pulls it out of his pocket. It's a 4-dimensional pocket, But anyways, he goes in. And it gets really hot, lots of pressure, they're about to like die, but instead of them hitting molten rocks and burning up, they go into a place.
The Hollow Earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if it's the same film, but there's something to do with the mines and sort of, the buildings that they have where they have massive steps into some... There's a thing in it.
Well, those pyramids.
Yeah, pyramids, but they're not exactly pyramids.
But they're like steps.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same film, but that also exists in the franchise or whatever Doraemon is. But yeah, I just unlocked a memory.
Yeah, but like that's so weird because you have this like 10-foot people in India apparently who are worshipped as gods, and then you have that same thing.
Gods, but...
Yeah, okay, that's the thing though, because again, in the same way that the Iliad and the Odyssey, I don't know how old they are relative to the Mahabharata and whatnot, but then it was written based on true events, but then they just they mixed in mythology and gods and stuff. So in the same way, I've heard people talking about, they found the rocks under the sea from the Ramayana, and they found like the battle thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, they found I think the bridge that connects Sri Lanka and India could not have been done naturally because the rocks on top were much sort of more recent than the bottom, and I found that nuts because that's literally what the Ramayana is. The monkey army. Okay, that sounds really like bad. It sounds like absolute.
You did. Oh, okay.
That sounds like absolute. Okay, I don't know how to. Okay. So it's like this. Imagine that sort of two species of humans. So we have humans, but we also have another species that are more related to the monkeys than us. So these are basically, they were Neanderthals. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense for them to biologically.
Oh yeah, no, we actually lived alongside like other species of humans.
Exactly.
For a while, so.
Yeah, until they all evolved into humans or something. Something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened.
But they all died, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Something happened, and it makes sense. As far as biology goes for that, it makes sense. But there was a certain sort of avatar or certain god, more closely related to Shiva, I think. You know Hanuman, right? And he led the army of these people to build a bridge from Kanyakumari, I think, to Sri Lanka, or Lanka is what it was called then. And they found the flipping rocks in the sea, in the ocean.
Yeah, and apparently they had Rama written in them.
Did they actually?
I think I've heard that from somewhere. It might just be complete bullshit. But...
Yeah, the reason why they floated is because they wrote Rama on it, I think, and they were able to float and they were able to walk across it, I think.
Yeah, so why didn't they take one of the rocks and test it? To see if it floats. And if it floats, why is it at the bottom of the sea?
And maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm chatting shit, but maybe they just threw in so many rocks.
No, that is why it flew. That's why it was floating in the story. Yeah, that's why they wrote Rama and all of them.
Maybe it had no purpose after like carrying people. I don't know. I mean, that's not the right question to ask.
Okay, okay. Carry on.
That is not the right question to ask. Why is the rock still not floating? But yeah, and it's just like evidence of these. And that's another thing I was going to clocked is that there was a lot of influence, I swear, in ancient Greece from sort of Vedic texts and Vedic maths and sciences, I swear. I remember reading something about a lot of influence going from sort of the South Asian, Dravidian or Indus Valley regions into Greece.
There was, because the Indians were like the first ones to talk about astrology and astronomy.
Astronomy, mathematics. Basically, due to the sort of intellectual curiosity that was presented in the Vedas, sort of universal truths and all of this idea, it sort of kickstarted the civilization to be pursuing more empirical truths, mathematics and science, which, in my opinion, is what I think kickstarted intelligent civilization, Vedic texts, because from there it went everywhere, and
What are Vedic
went to
texts?
Greece. You know the four Vedas. They have
So they're prayers.
the last one is, but the first one, I think, is the Rig Veda. Is about universal truths, and it's very intellectual, understanding the soul, understanding the universe and stuff. The old men, like they were the smart people in India who were Hindus. They were basically scientists of their day.
You know what I've always wondered though, is like, you know how there's like plants and stuff, or there used to be like natural psychedelics that people would just eat and stuff, and there would also be like people who were just like completely mental. What if what if all of these Vedas, I'm not this
I know what you're about to say.
What if they're just written by all these people? And like someone ate like a magical leaf or like a psychedelic leaf that had some toxin in it, and then like their mind just went berserk, and then they had all these ideas about the universe and the soul and spirituality and stuff, and they just wrote it all down because they're like, holy shit, this is sick. There's like a movie about this, Limitless.
That can literally be any religion.
Exactly, it could be anything that's like not to do with God, but anything like of that kind of nature. It could just be people who just woke and they just had some sort of like psychedelic.
It can be, or they were genuinely enlightened, or from the influence of a certain. But because the Hindu beliefs, it's like this. It's more likely. I'm not trying to diss the Christians and stuff, but literally, a guy could have literally woken up, taken a magic mushroom, and could have literally seen stuff. Like a burning bush, for example. But I'm not saying that was what it was.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's what, exactly.
I'm saying that it's a possibility, but there's this thing with Hinduism. Is why it's less likely is that certain amounts of knowledge that's being spread and certain amounts of events that have happened is due to one of the avatars of Vishnu sort of coming down and a massive war to be happening in order to be restored. So, sure, a person could have written something, but in different points in time, a different avatar has come down and has restored order, so that Dharma can carry on, and then stuff has happened. For example, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata happen in completely different times, completely different stories. They involve overall it's the same gods and stuff. Like Krishna is involved in. Hanuman, for example, is involved in the Mahabharata. He helps out Bhim. He gives him his gada, I think, or just trains him or something. I remember some. I don't know. It's a sub story, flipping long story that is. But anyways, so I think it's less likely that all of this can come from this one person at a magic mushroom. But there are religions where it can appear as one occurrence. One guy could have written a book and have created a religion.
Yeah. Which is. It's interesting.
The Christians are quaking right now.
Well, okay. We're not saying anything about Christianity or any other religions.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I'm just saying, like...
There was also an argument.
Hinduism. I'm just saying, like, myself, Hinduism could have been written by a guy who was completely high off his balls and have created the religion. I'm not saying this,
I was watching a Joe Rogan podcast. It was with Post Malone. It was a fucking 4-hour podcast. It was long. But they were just high the whole time. And then they were talking about how... Oh, and also with Mike Tyson. And obviously Post Malone and Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan have taken a lot of drugs. And they say that it's not just them, but like them and some other people, they all say that some drugs are almost like, they're almost spiritual. Maybe it's just the effect of the psychedelics, but maybe that's why, like that they say that maybe that's why psychedelics were put on Earth. Like if there is some sort of God, drugs and psychedelics are a way of like communicating or getting closer to or being more sort of spiritually enlightened.
I was talking to Mihal about this because Mihal's big about psychedelics. The guy says he's into that stuff. I can imagine this guy taking the biggest. Okay, anyways.
Yeah.
we had a conversation once. He's probably gonna be watching this. He actually watches our videos. My guy. Anyways, and I think either one of us said like, what if a certain psychedelic that we were talking about it's like unlocking a certain part of your brain such that it can interact with something that is beyond the three dimensions that we see, or beyond our own sort of what our brain can comprehend. That's what psychedelics. That's the reason why psychedelics may actually exist.
Exactly. There's a movie about this. Have you seen Limitless?
No.
It's got who's Rocket from Guardians? He's an American sniper. He is
a sniper.
American sniper.
Hold on. Let me look him up. So the guy is
Bradley Cooper. That's it. Bradley Cooper film.
Yeah, it's Bradley Cooper.
He did a film called Limitless where there's this new kind of street drug, and it unlocks some kind of part of the brain. I don't know if it unlocks or it just accelerates the brain, but when you take it, you turn it like this completely different. You turn it literally the perfect person. Like your brain works a million miles an hour. You can do anything, and so when he takes it, like his life is sort of like failing. Like he's a failed writer or something. How come all these types of people are just failed writers? It's kind of funny. Anyway,
It's here from 2012.
Yeah.
The guy's a failed writer, I think.
And so he's a failed writer. His girlfriend's left him. He's living off his girlfriend's money, and then he takes this drug from one person. And it's in testing, and then he takes it, and then he wakes up and he fixes all of his life, and he's doing like all these sort of stock trading, and he makes a name for himself. He gets an amazing job, but you have to take the drug to keep going. But then I don't think anyone's gonna watch this film because it's kind of an old film. So if you don't want to spoil it, skip. But by the end, he's like always this perfect person. First of all, he had to keep the drug to take him going, but then by the end, the drug had like changed his nervous system and his like brain function and like molded it into this person. And so by the end, he didn't even need to take the drug. He just completely changed. So I don't know if that's possible, but that would be pretty
By that
sick.
logic, Post Malone should be like enlightened and stuff. And
Yeah, but maybe it's about taking the right drug, or maybe it's about making that kind of drug. It's like, what if you could make a drug that just like over time it changes your brain function and your brain structure in a way that's actually positive, rather than making you like a complete nitty.
Yeah. I'm surprised that it's not like he's not addicted to the drug and stuff.
He was addicted, but then like you have to trail off it. But it would be a pretty cool drug. Or
it would be.
Or you could put a chip in your brain, and then you could accelerate brain function in specific ways, which actually seems more possible.
I don't know how they're gonna do it, biologically speaking. I'm trying to think. They don't even understand the brain enough to do that, I think.
Yeah, no, okay, again, I don't think it's accelerating brain function right now, but in the future, you never know. Like, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, we still don't know what consciousness is. We don't know how a thought is actually like how we have memory, and actually we know where memory is stored-ish, sort of. Cause
you know, if someone has a head transplant, they're possible, right?
it has been done before on dead people, but it's never been done on an actual person.
Has it been done successfully?
On a dead person, yes. They were able to connect the right stuff, and I think that's what successful means.
But then it's never been done on a live person before.
No, it's never been done on a live person.
Oh. Well, then never mind. I was going to say, because like, if they could do a head transplant, which person does that then turn into? Does it turn into like
the guy with the
head, or the guy with the body, or like a fusion of the two?
Obviously, the guy with the head.
But why though? Because you can argue that the conscious state of your being is like, it's the constituent parts of yourself, right? So if I was 6 foot tall with a six-pack, I would be a completely different person than like me now. And like, you can argue that's not true, but it's true.
Oh, I see. So you're involving consciousness also being part of your personality.
Yeah.
Which also associates yourself with the rest of your body.
With the rest of your body, exactly.
Okay.
So then, in the same way, if you had a head transplant, you could like merge humans together, and like you could I don't know,
Make a mutant or something.
you could make just fusions of different people into one person. Obviously, it wouldn't work by like transplanting an arm, or maybe
I
it
see.
would.
So you can
but-
have a brain of someone and a body of someone else.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah. Like flipping Stephen Hawking's brain, and some who's a very attractive person with no, that doesn't make sense. A very attractive body. Some guy who's just a massive bodybuilder. or
Brad
something.
Pitt, I don't know, but
Really? I don't know.
Brad Pitt is fit. Oh, okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
what was I gonna say? No, I'm just thinking of Brad Pitt.
No, you're just thinking of Brad Pitt. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You know what they should do? In the future, when they have like really smart people and they have like the correct technology, they should take people who are just like really intelligent, like the Elon Musks, the Stephen Hawkings, the Bill Gates, the like all the genius scientists and stuff, and they should just like take maps of their brain and like record exactly how their brain is built. And then they should, I don't know what they'll do with it. Like maybe in the future you can like reconstruct their brain. But then actually what would you even do with that? Why would you take a map of their brain? But then like if they reconstructed their brain, would that be the exact same person?
Reconstructed the brain.
Yeah.
Well, a person is first of all their biology, their consciousness, their self, their personality. What are we changing in this case? We don't understand. So we can't really say if there will be a different person or not. We don't know if the personality will stay the same even if you differently map their brain.
Or like just map it to exactly what it was before.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't understand it.
Because then
We don't
again
know
it
what
goes
it
back
is.
to the idea of where does consciousness really lie? And
I have a book about it. I have What is Consciousness? A very short introduction. I don't understand it. It's too complicated.
okay.
I have to read it properly with concentration again. But yeah, when I do understand stuff, I'll bring it back to the podcast and see what we can do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll talk about zombies and stuff. How zombies basically a consciousness-less person.
Yeah, how does that... Oh, I saw this thing. Someone was cutting some meat. I think it was on Instagram. But then, like, the fibers in the muscle were still moving. Like, you cut the meat open, and then, like, inside the muscle, there were still, like, moving parts. Like, there were just things moving, like, muscle... They were just, like... I think it... Apparently, that's what muscle memory is. But, because that's what the caption said. But that's weird. And then, like, that could just be a zombie. Like, if you had enough of those.
That is a zombie. Technically, that is a zombie. But what I'm thinking, that's sort of like, you know how a headless chicken, the story about the headless chicken that can like survive for a bit before it completely just...
That's not a story, that's real. But yeah.
Yeah, I never seen a headless chicken.
Oh, I have. You know, there's I was in India. There's some festival. It's some
Of course it's India.
gory stuff. You take animals, like whoever, like farmers and stuff. They take their animals, and then in front of you, they cut off the animal's head and they let them run around the field. And then like the blood is
Wow.
the blood is like their donation to God or whatever. Like it's a
That's a
sacrifice.
sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice. The animal is a sacrifice. The blood is like the important part. But when you cut off the head of a chicken, it's running around for like 2 minutes, just in the field. It runs around. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's just
it's that.
god. Lambs and
I
stuff
haven't
don't
seen
run
it.
around for that much, but chickens they run for miles. A chicken could run away from its killer just without its head. It's mental. It runs so fast. Anyway.
Oh nah, I never seen a chicken be cut off. I don't know what your
My
policemen are
god.
doing.
And then I later that trip I saw them get a chicken, they cut it off, and then they stripped the feathers and they butchered it up. Oh my god, there was so much blood.
I've seen chickens be butchered up right in front of me. I was supposed to do one myself because they had to do it, you know, back before they had butcher shops and stuff, you know, they had their own chickens, and if they wanted to like kill their own chickens, they have, you know, those chickens where they have actual crown and stuff, There's special chickens that taste extra good, and they had a fresh shipment in and stuff, and they did it right in front of me. And I think my granddad once said something really crazy like, "Oh yeah, I was gonna make you do one of those," and I was like, "You're taking the piss. You're taking the
Living mad.
Yeah, but nah. What I've seen, during Pongal, Sankranti, whatever, they have chicken bets and stuff. Like they make chickens fight, and the winner takes, they bet on it and stuff, and the winner. It's very cultural, and I've seen one of those. It gets very, as much as it is animal cruelty, etc., etc. It is fire. I hate to say it, but it's the amount of money that people get from. One of my uncles got 80,000 rupees this Sankranti. 80,000.
From fighting chickens?
From betting on fighting chickens, yes.
What, do they give them like armor and shit?
No, they just fight it out.
they just let the chicken run. Oh, that's so mean.
I know, it's animal cruelty. Like they do it. Literally, they just let go, open the cages, and the chickens try to kill each other.
Then again, they did that in like ancient Rome. Like,
they really do.
You don't know anything about Rome, do you? Oh my god.
I don't know anything about Rome. Yeah. Except it's gladiator in Rome.
Yeah, gladiator fights. So they had gladiator fights. They'd take prisoners, and they'd have like animals. So they'd have like a lion, and if you were like unlucky enough, you get matched up with a lion, and they had this massive colosseum, colosseum.
I've seen the film. Gladiator,
and they just let you go, and you're just there. Sometimes they don't even have protection. Like you just have to run.
Some people have people won. I feel like people
have won, obviously, but that's mad. And like,
yeah.
Okay, I get it, but they're just doing the same thing with chickens now.
Yeah, basically. That obviously never happens anymore because that was slavery. Now, it's just animal cruelty, of course. It still happens. Like, literally, in my village, if you go down... Sankranti was a couple of weeks ago.
I've never heard of this. They do this for Sankranti.
I think so. I've seen a lot of them.
Oh.
Like, kids in the village get excited about it. About that time of year.
It's the chicken fight.
The cockfights. I think the okay, it's probably not the best
sword fights.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, they fight it out, and yeah, it's celebrated and stuff. I'm sure there's some religious.
You know what you should do? You should build a robot chicken and just beat all the other chickens.
I'm pretty sure it would really bait, but yeah, I could do.
just unapologetically, just a robot chicken, just there, just mashing up every chicken.
A chicken Terminator.
Yeah, chicken Terminator. Just whips out guns and just shoots all the other chickens.
You know what? It's just basically Robot Wars.
Yeah,
it's gonna become.
Yeah,
Robot Wars.
That's what I thought of when you said fighting chickens and people bet on it. I thought of Robot Wars. So
it's literally Robot Wars, but with actual animals. That's the difference.
Chicken Terminator.
That's another thing. What if it evolves and humans make robots their slaves almost and make it fight it out in the ring? It's basically gladiator days, but with AI-filled robots.
Well, you could argue that's more ethical, but is it? It depends how much intelligence, I guess, you give the robot.
Yeah, because it's about a certain... Yeah, exactly. And it's about how much personality and how much consciousness the robot gains and stuff.
The thing is, though, personality... I don't think personality is something you can program. Because personality in humans... Personality is much like when I said consciousness is like the constituent parts of yourself and your brain. Personality is like it's the culmination of who you ever met, who you're ever going to meet in the future, and like who you're around. So I don't think personality is something you can necessarily program. I think you can program the development of a personality, but then you can't manipulate it. Which I guess if you're making fighting robots, you wouldn't give them that ability. But yeah.
Haven't computers been able to do that naturally or something though? How they were able to learn naturally? So if they can learn naturally, isn't that technically adapting to something?
What do you mean naturally?
Or making themselves from some... Remember you were talking about like good and evil and how the computer learned itself to lean towards the good and stuff. Similarly to that, or them Facebook robots who just start speaking a different language, which just because English is
Oh,
not
that's
that efficient,
weird.
apparently.
That's so weird.
Exactly, and you know how they weren't programmed to do that. They just learned to do it themselves
Yeah.
because, just from what they were able to do. That is adapting from something, I think. Maybe sort of it may not be ethical for these robot wars to happen in the future because a certain robot could have learned so much that it could have gained a personality.
A super intelligent AI. That's thing is, that would be kind of cool though. You could just have AI friends, and they could just do everything for you. Imagine
Yeah,
you're just.
have you seen the film Robo? Have you filmed the Indian film, the robot film? The one with Rajinikanth, the really old one.
Yeah. Oh wait.
And the robot starts to feel love for the
Is it the one
actress.
with like the mad graphics?
Yeah, like
he
loads
builds a
of these
wall of
robots.
himself, and then he builds
Yeah,
like
yeah, it was sick. The idea was
I saw the
amazing.
meme on
Like,
Instagram. That's the only
they
part I've
form-
seen. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. No, I remember because I was like 8 when it came out or something,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, I've
I was
seen that,
fascinated by it because that was my first exposure to like robots and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know what robots were, and I saw that film. And I was like, robots are sick. But basically, they form like a massive sort of wall of themselves. They can shift into different shapes because there's hundreds of them, and they link arms and form massive geometrical structures and stuff. It was beautiful to watch and stuff.
Yeah.
As much as it is Bollywood, Tollywood, extremely shite films. What was interesting is that the robot, it starts to gain feelings. At the start, after it's made, apparently it took 10 years to make the robot. It's fine. It's just a regular robot. Doesn't understand feelings, doesn't understand anything. But then later, it spends time around humans. It starts to gain affectionate feelings to this actress in the film, and it starts to gain anger. The robot once shouts out of anger at his creator.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He was trying to steal his girl. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, but I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's it learned emotions.
But then again, like, emotions aren't a conscious thing, are they? Like, you don't think to yourself, okay, I am going to feel angry now.
Yeah, it's not. I think but it's part of a personality. It's more than just machinery,
Yeah.
It's still something that can be evolved to be felt to sort.
But then again, it's not. It's that if emotions are like neurochemical signals and stuff, or at least in humans.
Don't ask me how it works. Don't ask me how it works. The guy
You
got
do
angry.
biology and chemistry. Okay, you should
No,
know
not
this.
that. I'm talking about this robot. I'm talking about the robot, like how it.
Yeah,
how
but
it was
no, but
able
I'm just
be
trying to
angry.
think. Like, obviously, robots are programmed. So then, how would emotions? If emotions in all living beings today are based on chemical signals in the brain, and in around the body, how would you then adapt that into a robot? And how would an AI do that itself?
That is what we shall discuss in and the next episode, I think.
Okay.
We won't have enough time to cover this, but yeah, we'll just leave everyone in a cliffhanger. Yeah.
I don't.
Cool.
That's weird. Okay.
I know you're mad just scratching your head for not covering this, but yeah.
I have a. You know how we were talking about 4D for like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
You know, there's actually credibility to that Doraemon pocket thing. Like, that's an actual thing.
Is that actually,
That's how 4D would actually work.
You know how old this anime is, from the 80s.
Yeah. So there's no way like they knew this would be true, but that's actually how 4D would work. Because I'll tell you how. You know the analogy with the ant on the table. Imagine that's the 2D world.
Oh, that cool. Yeah, go on.
That's 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
The ant lives in 2 dimensions, and the ant's on the table. And imagine you had papers on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And if the ant was storing the papers, it would only be able to store them in the 2nd dimension. So it would only be able to store them along and up the table, right? But then now imagine it had access to a shelf, right? Or like a movable shelf that can go up and down. It can store something on one shelf, it can move the shelf upwards, and then it can store something on the 2nd shelf. Now, when you move the shelf upwards, the paper that it just stored on that shelf, which is now going upwards, it completely disappears for the ant. Like, you can't see it, right?
Yeah, because the ant can't comprehend.
It can't. Yeah, because it's gone into the 3rd dimension.
Oh, I see how the 4th dimension
Yeah.
works now.
So now, in the same way, 4 dimensions, you could have a door. You open the door, it goes into one room. You close the door, you open it again. It's just a completely different thing, right? So that 4-dimensional pocket, it's just you put your hand in, you pull something out, and then when you put your hand in again, it's just something. It's like this just different. It goes into like a different space, like a different fourth dimensional space that's been brought down into 3 dimensions, and then you whip that out of your pocket. Obviously, the space thing. How would he break that out of his pocket? But like, still, that's actually
still able to reach.
You're still you actually every time you reach in, you would reach into a new dimension, which is like, how do they even do that? How did they get that right? Like, I don't know. That's so sick.
I don't know. That's sci-fi coming true.
Like that's actually how 4D would work, which is kind of weird.
4D pocket. I was so jealous of the guy. How he has this robot friend just helping him out, like in the situation. It was just like,
wait, is Doraemon a robot?
Doraemon is a robot, yeah.
Oh,
but it has feelings and stuff from the 22nd century and everything. Yeah, but yeah, it comes back to help the guy Nobita, and I don't know why I remember this. I'm just really fond. I'm just really fond of this cartoon. Basically, my childhood. So yeah. It was a really good film, actually. It was really emotional, this one film. I'm going to make you watch it for no reason. But anyways, I think we should probably end it here. It's been an hour.
Okay. That's interesting. We got to an hour. We didn't even have a chance to talk about the stock market. Oh, yeah. Do you want to? Do you want to just extend this episode for no reason? Oh, you can't be asked.
How much will this take?
I don't know. I just had like a brainwave last night. It's not even a brainwave, but
can you remember it for next week?
It's just something I want to do. But yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's cool. I think hopefully we can get Vivi on and she can give her input on stock market. Someone who probably, I don't know how much she knows about stocks, but
we were gonna do like astrology, right?
Yeah, we could talk. I mean, literally, we wanted to talk about stocks. We never even mentioned it in this whole episode.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna end it here. So this is the example of a chilled out talk. I'm sure a lot of you found this more interesting than what we normally do. It works surprisingly well, but yeah, lovely. That was good timing. Good timing. Okay, basically, as soon as battery ran, no, he's out of storage, so I'm going to just say like, comment, subscribe, and bye bye.